and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Louise Nichols and I'm a textile artist and I live here in Cornwall. So I'm going to start today's video by just talking to you a little bit about what I'd mentioned in the last video about the stitch along. So I'm going to show you how far I've got with that, show you how the print started, and then talk a little bit more about what you can do with those blocks before we get on to the rest of the video. So I'm going to pan across what I've already done just to show you sort of a close-up in detail about that. Okay, so here we are. This is how far, ooh, caught the lead then. Move the lead out of the way, there we go. Okay, so that's how far I've got with it now. So you can see it's a 16 block square piece of work, which, I mean, and I've got some batting in between there, and I've just quilted around the outside of the squares. So that will be the project. So I'm going to then, is it bagging it? Is that what they call it? Yeah, so I'm going to bag it just to finish it off and put some loops at the top, there and there. Don't look at the mess in my kitchen. I can see it. I'm going to pan back down again. Yeah, so I'm just going to put some loops at the top to hang it from. So, so that's going to be the stitch along. So I just wanted to show you some other things that I've made with the blocks. So you could do one block and make a greetings card. And then this is how the blocks started out. So these are all individual prints. So that's just a few of the designs. And then on this piece, you can see I've also used these other prints that are as a background. So for example, that's that one there. And then the stripe as well. I don't know where the stripe is. Oh, there, but on a different colour. But you get the idea anyway. So the plan is, and I think this will be probably July time, the plan will be that you'll be able to buy the prints from me. So you can either buy the 16 blocks and that's it. So you'll buy all the prints and you'll be able to, well, you can do what you like with them really, but you can provide your own backing fabrics and everything else. The second option will be the 16 prints and the background prints and the background fabrics that I've used as well, but no threads, no felt or anything like that included. And the third option will be all the prints, all the backing, all the buttons, felt, threads, everything. What won't be included in that is this fabric here that I've actually mounted them onto, the batting and then the backing fabric. That won't be included, but everything else that you see on the top will be. So that's the plan anyway, and I'm aiming for, as I say, sort of mid to end of July, I would have thought, for that one. Okay, so for the rest of today's video, I'm about to design some new kits, so I thought it might be quite interesting to show you how I go about designing a kit. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm designing some new kits, and I really want to do a landscape. I don't have a landscape design in my kits at the minute, and this design is one, it's quite old now, probably about 7 years old, and it's one that's available when you do, if you come and do a general embellishing workshop with me. This is one of the prints that's available, and I really like this design, and it's also one of the most popular ones that people, there's quite a lot to choose from, and this is quite often one that they go for. So this is just really to show you the, you know, I print it in different colours on different fabrics. And then this one, excuse me, this is a finished stitched one to show you how you can stitch it. So as I say, I really like this design. I don't want to put this one into a kit. I want to make it slightly bigger, but this is really my starting point. So I went back to my sketchbooks. Let me just move those out of the way. And I found my original drawing. So this was what I'd drawn, which then became this. And actually, I have the lino as well. So this was my lino that I carved out. Obviously, the lino is the opposite way round, but when you print it, you're that way again. Talk to you more about that when we get to the point where I'm carving out lino, drawing it out and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so here's my original drawing. I have to admit, I am not a big sketchbook person. I don't have working sketchbooks. All I tend to do is to do pen line drawings like this, and then this becomes my lino, and then once I've printed I'll play about with it, but I don't tend to do sketchbooks. I like to just kind of get straight on with it really. Years ago I used to do quite detailed sketchbooks. I used to draw in where I thought the stitches were going to go and the colours and everything I was going to use, and quite often I found that when it came to actually doing the piece of work, I'd want to change it as I was going. You know, once you've actually got the finished piece there, you sort of think, right, okay, I want to do that there and that there, and then I'd think, well, what's the point in spending all this time in doing work in a sketchbook? I could be just working straight onto the piece and seeing how it's sort of working organically, really. So anyway, so this is just how my sketchbooks start. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this as my base, and I'm going to trace this, but actually what I want is something sort of more this size, so a little bit more A4 size really. So that's the sort of size I'm working towards. So I'm going to trace this through. So this is layout paper. Let me show you the. So this is what I'm using, this layout paper. I've been using this stuff for years. I used to design upholstery fabric, and this was what we used to work our layouts out with. So when you were working out, you drop, you know, you repeat patterns. This was what we used rather than tracing paper. I'm not really sure why that is, but I really like it. I think with tracing paper you get really dirty hands actually, don't you, when you're drawing on tracing paper? The pencil really, and it seems to wear your pencil away quicker. I don't know, perhaps I'm imagining that, but anyway. So I'm going to use the layout paper. So I've just got this piece loose, and I'm just going to use an HB pencil, and I'm going to trace this through. So I won't keep you on real time. I'll either cut to it being finished, or I'll fast forward through this bit. Okay. Okay. So that's it, very roughly traced. I just really want it as a guide to what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to get my sketchbook. So again, I've got that sort of size of square drawn out, and what I'm thinking is I want this sort of over to the side, but then there's another tree that I use quite a lot in my designs. It's this one here. So this is my lino, and this is the print that comes from that. This is it when it's stitched. And I think I'd quite like, and I've got a, this is a photocopy because I've used this in various things before. I'd quite like that sort of somewhere here, or it might be a little bit higher up, but sort of here I'm thinking. And then also, this is another design that comes from a patchworky piece that I started working on and never finished. I think it might be quite nice to have these somewhere as well. And then also on this, I found these little birds that I'd got drawn out. So what I'm thinking is maybe a little bird on the top of the tree there, and maybe another bird down here. I don't know whether I need that, so that will be something I'll decide as we're going on. And I'll probably bring maybe another hill. I'm not sure. Again, I'll decide that as we're going on. I might make this sort of hill here come up a little bit higher. That might be the thing to do. But basically, I think that would be quite, I think the bird needs to be facing in towards the picture. These are from some other, I started another design, a big landscape, and in fact, let me show you, because I think it's in here actually. Let me show you. It's in my book. Yeah, here we are. Look. So again, this was a Christmas idea, look, and then I just made it into a kind of regular everyday tree. But then that became part, I don't know if you can see the whole thing actually. It's quite big, so this is the whole sort of A3 size. Let me, if I kind of do this, you can see it. So this is now traced, ready to go onto a lino. That was my original sketch. Again, I don't know if you can, how well we can see that, but anyway, so that's it, and that's where the tree is there, look. So anyway, but yeah. So what I'm going to do now for this one is I am going to trace this into this picture here, and then I'll bring you back in as we're adding in the other bits, okay? Right. So I've traced that through, as you can see. In fact, I'm really sorry. I think earlier on I was fiddling with my mic, so I'm sorry if it made a bit of a noise. But anyway, yeah, so I've traced this through. All I've done, after I'd drawn it through there, I've drawn onto the back of it and then turned it back over and drawn over the top. See, I've drawn that other tree on there because I might want to trace that on. I don't know yet. So that's come through like that. I've still got my photocopied one of that at the minute. I've just cut these out as well because I'm thinking that might be quite nice sort of here like this. I think over here that makes too much, it's too busy on this side, whereas sort of here it just balances it out. And then I've traced my birds through as well, so I've cut one out. I'll just cut the other one out as well. So I've just drawn them through quite loosely. It's just to give me an idea of placement before I start drawing on it. Otherwise you end up rubbing out stuff all the time. So maybe a little bird up there and one down there, maybe. What do we think to that? Yeah. Okay, I think I'm quite happy with that. I think what I'm going to do is make this into another like a little hill, so the bird can be sat on top of the hill. So I'm just going to draw that in. So I think that needs to come sort of all the way over and then back down. other side like that. And then they'll go in there like that, or maybe just one in the middle. I'm going to start with one in the middle. Now these are already on lino, not lino, on layout paper. So I'm just going to turn that over and trace what's already there, sort of roughly in the middle. I think that's about the middle, isn't it? About there. So let's go for that. So let's draw one of those in, because if I have three, I won't have two. It'll be one or three. So let's just draw one in, because I can always add the other two on either side if I want to. Just go over that. I'm just going to rub out, you see that original line now from the tracing. I don't need that to go into there. I might even get rid of that hill altogether. So let's just get rid of that. I should have rubbed that out first, shouldn't I, really? Bet you're all saying that, aren't you? Right, okay. And then little bird on the top. Obviously, I'd give him some legs like that. So yes, I think actually now that, to me, that angle there's not quite right. So I'm going to rub that line out. I am going to have a little hill, but I'm going to make it a little bit more like that. There. Okay. And then the tree. So I need to just watch the height of the bird there. So allow him for his legs as well. I think the tree probably needs to be about there. What do you think? Yeah. I think that will be fine. Okay, so I'm going to get the bit that I've traced through. I'm going to trace that into that position there. So get rid of that and put that one in. It was about there, wasn't it? Okay, I'm going to trace that one in now then. Okay, just move those out of the way a minute. Okay. And then that little bird was going to go up there, wasn't he? And this one here. I think what I might do there, I'll work out what I'm going to do with the bottom of this tree. It might be that I just extend the lines down so it looks as if it's growing out from behind the hill rather than cutting off there. That might be an idea, might it? And originally as well, because obviously with lino, you're always thinking about what you leave in and what you take out. So with this, I've taken the leaves out and the kind of bit up the trunk and the lines leading towards the leaves here, but I've left the tree in, so it's the tree that prints. And I didn't know whether with this one I might want to do the opposite, where I leave the leaves in, take out this area here, and then it would just print this outer circle as well. I'm not sure about that yet. That might be a decision that I make when it comes to actually carving out. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is, all right? And I'm going to draw this bird in. Now, this again is on the lino, I said it again, haven't I? The layout paper. So I'm just going to turn him over and draw him on here as well. I thought what would be nice as well with these, because it's a landscape, because then I was thinking, now what colours, what do I want, a summer landscape, a winter landscape? And I thought actually what might be nice is to do one for every season. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So that'll be really nice, working out the colours for that, and that will be another video. So basically, I think how the videos will work for today's is just about working out my design and getting it ready to transfer onto the lino. The next video will be, once it's on the lino, it will be about lino carving. The video after that will be printing, mixing colours, choosing colours, all that kind of thing. And then the video after that will be then me working out the colours and the stitches, and how I then go about writing the instructions, measuring out the threads, all of that kind of thing, which all goes into making the kit. And then it will be showing you about drawing out felt templates and stitch diagrams and all that kind of thing. There's an awful lot of work goes into making a kit, which is why it takes me a while to do. And this will be over a course of quite a few months that this will build up. Because as I say, it does take a little while, and there's always other things going on. But I think that's how the videos are going to work. There'll probably be other bits in between, including the workroom, which I'm going to start emptying next week in my studio. So there'll be a video about that as well. But anyway, back to today. So I'm quite happy with that. I like my little bird up there. Let's give him some legs as well. And then let's turn him round and pop him back there. I think I like him there. And I think actually I'm not going to, I thought I might bring another hill in, but I don't know if I need another hill really. I wonder whether it might be okay just to make this one maybe a little bit higher maybe. Let's have a sort of bring that there. I don't know if I like that or not. No, don't like that. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to keep it on this angle, I think, and bring it back down here. I don't know, I felt as if that kind of got rid of too much of that background section really. It just seemed to sort of, isn't it funny? You know, you add a few lines and it can change a picture completely, can't it? Right, I'm going to trace him through now as well, because I think I do like this. I like the two birds, I think. Yeah, I think that's nice. So I'm going to turn the other one over and just trace that onto there as well. So let me do that. Okay, right, so next decisions. Let's see how this looks if I make this a little bit longer. So let's take that line right down. Bring this one down. This one would come right down. Yeah, I think that works. I'm happy with that. Now, in the original one, I'll bring that liner back. You can see I've done the stripes on this. The idea of that is, you know, when they plough the fields and you get those lovely stripes, don't you, on the landscape? So that was where that, obviously very stylised, but that was where that idea came from. Now, I don't know if I really want stripes behind the bird here. So I might bring them in here instead. So let's just draw some in quickly, like this. Okay, yeah, I think quite happy with that. And then let me draw these in as well. I don't know if I need anything behind the bird either. I think maybe I might just leave that empty. What's quite nice, one thing I do like to do when I'm doing landscapey things is to do lines of running stitch going across. Sometimes I do it in a straight line, but you could really, you know, sort of have some wavy lines of running stitch like that going across, you know, sort of. So that would add movement. And when I when I carve it out, think about the direction that I'm going to carve that background out. And so I can make sure that I carve in that direction rather than kind of going at different angles. Make sure I carve away at this direction here, and then that will add a nice flow. So I think that is what I'm going to do there. Just wondering whether to just bring in a little bit of a here and then make that into stripes. Just wondering whether to make it a little bit wider, but then you end up with a space down here, which I don't want to do. Yeah, I think I'll leave that at that there. I'm wondering if I do need something down here anyway. I don't want another hill like that because it's a bit repetitive. I mean, it may be that all I do is put a square of felt down here or something else. Trying to think what's on that original one again. Where is it? Here we are. There. Well, I've got a line of felt there, so that it might be that I do a couple of lines there of felt, which would be quite nice because going rather than them being horizontal, to have a couple of vertical lines would be quite nice because again that balances out the horizontal stripes. Now I need to decide about this. I think this is the last decision. I think it definitely needs something else, doesn't it? So I am going to put all three in, see how that looks. Yeah, I think three. Just wondering whether to bring a horizontal line there. Yep, I like that. I like that horizontal line there. That's what I'm going to do with that. Okay, so I'm just now going to go over all the paler lines. So I've got my whole picture's drawn in. Right, I think I'm quite happy with that. Sometimes you come to look at something again, don't you, another day, and you think, what? Something is out of balance or it doesn't look quite right. But at the minute, that looks okay to me. The only thing I might possibly do is move this tree. Just want a bit of paper to block it out, and everything's got something drawn on it. I don't know if it's a little bit central, whether it needs to come out the top of here. Let me get my layout paper again. I'm going to just draw it through. Although it does break up that line quite nicely, doesn't it? But anyway, just going to rub it out for now. Oh, now does that look better without one altogether? What I was thinking was whether it would look better sort of over here somewhere, or what I don't want is right bang, slap bang in the middle. You've got nothing apart from a stitched sky. That's my worry with not having anything there. I don't want that and that to be the same height, and I don't want that and that to be the same height. I want a variation in those heights on the landscape. So I don't know even whether I need to sort of bring it down to here, maybe. Don't know if that's too much with the bird. Or do I just put it back where it was? Or have it higher there? No, because then that's all that side, isn't it? Oh, decisions, decisions. Might try it there. Let's just draw that in there. Get rid of those bits in the middle. And then that would mean that that flow would just kind of go, yeah, that might be okay. just wondering now whether to set the thing in it. You start playing about with it and everything moves. I don't know whether to make this one a little bit lower. Maybe about that edge there. What did I say about getting dirty hands? Look at the state of my hands. Right, okay, so that's a little bit lower now. Let's see how that works. And then that will bring that middle circle down, won't it? Let's rip that one out as well. Just don't want them to be too similar, really. So let's just bring that down so it's sort of here. Okay, yeah, that's better. And then say those stitches can kind of flow across there, can't they, like that? Bring that down. Okay, so yeah, I think I prefer that there than there, I think. Just moving it that little way, but it needed something, I think, otherwise, as I was saying, I think slap bang in the middle I would have had an empty space, which is not very good visually, is it? Okay, so from there, once I've got to that point, and I don't think I'm going to fiddle with it anymore, I get my tracing paper. And I'm going to trace that through. So the rectangle that's already drawn on there is drawn on with a 2B pencil, a soft pencil. It transfers onto the lino much easier than a harder pencil, even better than an HB. So I'm going to trace it through with my 2B pencil, my soft pencil. I'm going to go and get some tape just to hold it into place, a little bit of masking tape, and trace it all through, and then we'll come back. Okay. Right, so I've drunk my tea and I've drawn all this through with my 2B pencil. So you can see I just popped a bit of tape onto the tracing paper just to hold it in place. So I'm just going to peel that off now, and then you'll see the traced picture. There we go. Pop that to the side. So there it is. All I've done actually is I've added in, so on the original one, I really like these, so I've added those into here as well. So I'm going to leave it down so that you can see the picture better. Yeah, so I've added those back in, and the other thing I've done is just put a line in there. I just felt this was a little bit empty, so I've popped a line in there. So once you've got to that stage, you get your lino, you turn it over. Now sometimes I cut a lino to size. This was just an odd bit I'd got left over, but I might use this bit, I might not, but I just wanted to show you this is where we'll begin from next time. So I will trace the design through next time, and I will then talk to you about carving out lino, the tools that I use, and the other bits of equipment that go along with that. So I hope you've not found that too boring watching me draw. I just said to my husband, I thought, I'm sure a lot of people, well, they'll either turn off, you'll either turn off, or you'll just fast forward through the whole lot, because who wants to sit and watch me drawing out, really? But anyway, I hope some of you have found it interesting. It was just really to show you the work that goes into making a kit as well. And you know, I mean, to me it's interesting, so I hope you've enjoyed it as well. So if you have made it to the end, thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye bye then.